YouTube stacking community, the Stacking Nerd here today with a video about fakes. Wherever you're watching this from and whenever you're watching this, I hope that you're having a great day. So when I talk about fakes, I'm not really talking about this 23 karat plated Pokemon card. Most of us are smart enough to know that you couldn't buy a gold bar from Burger King for $8 back in the late 90s. I've met a few people whose perceptions are a little bit altered and think these are real, but I thought this would be a good chance just to show off my gold Pokemon card and something that I thought was a good investment back when I was a kid. So before I get into showing you fakes, I want to show you a few of the tools that I like to use. The first of which is a portable scale. If you're weighing your bullion at home, I'd recommend getting a jeweler's scale. But if you're going to be out buying from flea markets, from yard sales, or antique auctions, maybe you're brave and buy from Craigslist or Facebook Classifieds, having a portable scale will be really helpful for you. Now, the best item that I do have is a neodynamic magnet. It saves me a lot of time. It helps me weed out fakes. And if you like to buy gold and silver scrap jewelry, this will also help you. Another item here is to have a loop on hand, especially if you like to go out and buy constitutional silver, Morgan dollars, walkers. Get a good look at the coin, assess its value, and see if it's worth what the seller is trying to offer it to you for. Another item that I use sometimes is a testing stone and testing acid. This right here is 14 karat acid. You can get it in 10, 14, 18, 22, but this usually does a job to help me determine if something is plated. The last item I would recommend you have is a black light flashlight. A lot of the mints, Geiger, and a lot of the mints who produce items and assay cards are using black light technology to prevent against counterfeiting. So that will also help you out. Let's take a look at some fakes. The first thing I have here are American Gold Eagles. Now it's going to be very clear to us which one's the fake here, but I have come across people in my work at a pawn shop and refinery that people do fall for this as a fake. There's two reasons why. One, they don't realize that gold coins are actually smaller than silver coins, and then they've been dealing in silver. So they're not aware of that. The second reason that people tend to fall for this is that if you look at this right here, these are two maples. The gold and silver have the exact same design. So it makes plenty of sense if you've never seen an American Gold Eagle to think that that's the design. But with the prevalence of smartphones, I'm pretty sure this isn't that common anymore. So let's start off with my magnet test. Fake right off the bat. Of course, we know this one's real, but let's take a look at the weight really quick. The Gold Eagle should weigh about 33.9 grams. So let's see what it weighs. 33.95. That is definitely within the range. This right here, 28 grams. So that's clearly a fake. Now I do want to show you a scratch test real quick. I'm going to put on some gloves. Here we go. Here we go. I feel like Nurse Ratched here. And my blue gloves here. I've worked with testing acid long enough to know that it'll turn your skin yellow, then black, and it'll start to peel off. Kind of looks a little hideous. But let me show you what it looks like. Let's take the fake coin. Don't do this with your real coins, by the way. Alright, so we can see right here, I scratched the surface. And I'm going to apply just a little bit of 14 karat test acid. If this was a real and not plated item, it shouldn't eat it. But as we can see right there, the test acid is eating away the plating. Bring that closer to the camera. That's just another easy way to do that. That's more or less for people who are buying scrap jewelry, but it'll help you out a little bit. get these off. Now, just for fun, let me show you a Krugerrand that I ordered. I got this from wish.com for $1. And I just want to show you how awful it was. You can get really good looking fakes, but take a look at these two right here. You can clearly tell that that's a fake Krugerrand. This is really just kind of a novelty item, but you can buy more expensive fakes. They're about $150, $300. I wasn't going to get involved in that. And just for fun, let's compare it to the silver Krugerrand. Look at that. There we go. We can even see that the gold Krugerrand is larger than the silver Krugerrand, which is totally off. And the color is wrong too. Krugerrands have more of a coppery tone. But my local coin dealers tell me that Krugerrands are the most common fake gold coins in our area. So that might be helpful. But let's take a look at something that's a little bit more realistic and things that I have dealt with before. These right here are two American Silver Eagles. These are very commonly faked coins, and the way I've seen this done is people will attempt to sell a tube, and they'll have a few real eagles on top and they'll have these fake eagles on the bottom. And what they're hoping is that you're not going to test all the eagles. They might have a monster box, might have a couple of tubes, and you just go through, oh, these look great. They may even have a full tube and they're selling you 10 and they're full of fakes. So do your due diligence, especially in buying tubes, because I have seen that happen quite a lot. Another thing that you can also have, remember to have your magnet, because it's magnetic, but we can weigh it up as well. 31.2, and the fake 28.6. So they're not even close. So be very careful with your eagles, especially in buying in tubes. Another common fake that I've come across are Morgans, especially Key Date and Carson City Morgans. I've seen a ton of fake Morgans come through in my time. First thing here, we've got our magnet. Nothing's sticking. So let's just take a look. Let's just eyeball these real quick and we can just kind of look at what the difference is here. When you get a real Morgan next to the fake Morgan, you can kind of tell the patina's off. You can see that the silver just doesn't have that same type of luster. Now the real Morgan here, which I'm going to cheat and show you, if you look at the toning, and I tried to pick one similar toning, it has a really nice gradient to it. It's very gradual. This right here feels kind of rough. It looks dirty. Oops. It looks as though it was dug out of the ground, which may be the case. However, when I opened this one up, it smelled worse than a Rwandan coin. So it was definitely recently painted. So be very careful with these. A real Morgan's going to weigh somewhere around 26.7 grams, depending on how much the wear is on it. It's going to be within this range. It's probably going to be about 26 grams. And if you look at this one right here, it weighs 24 grams. So it's clearly a fake. So be very careful with these. Often you'll see these in coin flips or in holders. If you really feel suspicious about it, I would ask, if you're not familiar with the buyer, I do see these things happen in legitimate coin shops, and it can be a mistake. But if you're not familiar with this person, I would ask them to let me open it up and take a look at it, get a good feel of it. You can feel the difference in weight. You can take a look at the coloring. And if they're not willing to do that, consider not taking the risk. I'm not going to be a huge risk taker on these. Now the next thing I want to show you are two ingots. These are also very, very commonly faked. These are two Scottsdale Lion bars. The lighting doesn't really do too well here, but you can tell that they're nearly identical. There are a few minor little differences in them, but let's take our magnet over here. There we go. Here's our fake, and again the magnet saves us. But I do want to show you the weight on this. The real Scotty weighs 31.120 grams, and the fake Scotty weighs 31.8 grams. So they're a little bit closer. So let me show you this up close. This might help you out a little bit. And this is going to be true for assay item, or items in assay. The Real Scotty is a thinner wafer bar. This is thicker so that it weighs closer to what it should weigh to be more deceptive. Now this isn't the best fake, like I said earlier. I'm not going to spend a lot of money on fakes. These are novelty items. So those are things that I would see somewhat commonly when I worked in the refinery and the pawn shop. Now I do have something for you that I'm going to go and do this live. I've had these in my stack for a long time and I'm suspicious of one of them. So I'm going to open up and test it for you and we're going to see. These are two IGR grams. One's a half gram and one's a whole gram. I'm going to put my gloves back on. The half gram was my first gold purchase and I probably paid somewhere around $19 for it from a seller on eBay that had good feedback. It was kind of cheap and I just wanted to get some gold. So first things first, if we take a look at these, we can tell there's a huge difference. This right here is the real one. I'm not going to cheat on this. You can tell that it is a rigid plastic. The serial number is embossed, as is the logo. And you can tell that let me get it a little bit further away, that the gram is actually encapsulated. This one right here is more of a cardboard feel. It's a laminated cardboard. The serial number is embossed, but the gram itself is laminated to the card. So it makes me a little bit suspicious. Let's look at the back. The first difference you're going to notice is that the back is not visible, and that may, originally I thought maybe that was because it was a different size. However, researching these, I found that even the half grams, you can see the back. Another thing that's missing off of this is the assayer signature. So I've been very suspicious of this, and let me show you the last thing here is that IGR uses black light technology. So let's look at the real one. We can see what's shown with a black light. You have the 99.9. You have a few hashes and marks throughout it. The fake clearly doesn't show anything here. And if we flip it over, you can see those hashes here as well, and that's not true of this one. So I'm going to cut it open. It won't bother me very much if it turns out to be real, because I do have a little bit of computer scrap that I'm hoping to extract some gold from, and I will just add this to the little bar that I hope to make. So let's cut it open. Oh, that cut's nice. Alright, I may have to pull this off camera. It's really, really, really on there, like it's glued. Oh man, it's really stuck to this. Okay, I really don't want to cut this in half. For some reason I feel like I'd be able to if I tried with the scissors. It does not want to come off of there. I mean, it's really on there good. Okay, I had to peel it. That's even... Oh, it bent it. Oh my gosh. I mean, this is really... The bar is literally glued to it. I may have to take off my gloves to get this out. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm totally gonna have to take off my gloves to open this. Maybe get like a good nail in there. I bent it. Oh no. So yeah. They can't do this on camera for you guys, but this is like really, really, really on here. It is glued, it is stuck. Oh, here it comes. Let's take a look. Oh my gosh. Okay. So here's the back of it. There we go. I've damaged it just a little bit, but it'll be just fine. Okay, it's not making a very good scratch on here. That doesn't necessarily mean anything. All right, let's pull out the 14 karat test. Okay. Looking good so far. This is probably a legitimate bar. Maybe. I got one more trick up my sleeve. I'm going to pull out the 18 karat test, and I'm going to do it one-handed with a glove. So if I get this all over me, it's all for you guys. Let me flip. Oh. I'm used to the ones that I used to have. I could flip them over. Maybe the same, but this one's got that nice little skid on it. Okay, this is 18 karat gold test. Oh, there we have it, guys. It was actually real the whole time. So I was worried about it. Unfortunately, I've already cut it up. I've bent it a little bit, but it'll be okay. Sometimes you just have to do that, and I was really worried about that in the first place. But don't worry, because I already replaced this with a Volacombi Swiss bar earlier today before I did this. And this will be going into my little gold bar that I'm working on. I've got about 5 Pentium 4 processors, a ton of memory. And so this little guy will just kind of help me to make that little bar. I kind of bent him up. I feel really bad kind of for it, but that might be really helpful, especially if you ended up with one of these IGRs and they're in that sketchy packaging. So the test did really well. I'm not gonna mess it up anymore. So there you have it. I opened it up for you guys just to test it out. So that's all I got for you today. I have still been working really hard to look for gold deals on my Twitter, so just keep an eye out for that if you are on Twitter. If not, I hope you have a great day, a prosperous week, and I will talk to you later.